buckle up, because it's going to be a long ride. It's going to be a wild ride. Nobody cares, but we're going to tell you anyways. This is Popcorn Chats.
Hi.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Popcorn Chats. I'm Katie.
And I'm MICHAE.
We're back with our continuation of our Pretty Little Liars rewatch series. This time we're talking about the second half of season 4. So we're calling it season 4B. Yeah, welcome back. Thank you for your continued support on this series, and we hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. I'm living for the show. I consider these girls my group of friends because I quite literally don't have a group of friends in LA, really. So, that's a little sad, but yeah. So if you're new here, if this is your first episode, I don't know why you chose to jump in on this one, but Lilas. Normally we start these episodes off with a little recap of the season, half of the season in a minute. So we'll get into that in just a sec. But first, we must check in.
How are we?
We're fine. We're back in LA. I went to New Orleans this past weekend and I made it out alive. I think old borderline alcoholic Katie would have had a rougher go of it. I did really well. Didn't get super hungover. Didn't get super crazy or anything. And just had a lovely time with some really good friends celebrating my friend who's getting married in September. So yeah, it was a great girly Lilas time. Yeah, I survived on mac and cheese and potatoes because that is not a vegetarian-friendly city, I found out.
Oh.
And everybody there eats like Shrek. And that's all I have to say. They're eating fucking boiled slug, turkey neck, frog legs, pig feet. I'm sorry. Y'all are just throwing anything into a little pot. I can't get down with that. I'm sorry. Alligator. How are you?
Good. I don't really have anything new. Although, actually, I just realized this. I don't know if I ever said last episode or the previous episodes, but I do have a new nephew. My nephew was born. I don't know if I ever said that, so now I'm an aunt to 2. Love that. But yeah, otherwise, literally not much is new here.
That's pretty new. That's like a whole new human being.
Well, yes, but it already feels like he's already a couple of weeks old. It's more just I feel like I forgot to say anything in previous episodes. So it doesn't, I mean, yes, it's still new, but it's not breaking news for me, because he's already been around for 3 weeks. So, Lilas.
Yeah, welcome, little brother.
His name is Weston.
Weston and Elliot.
So yeah, but otherwise I don't really have anything new to report, to be honest. Just, the twins had their birthday this weekend. They turned 2. So that was a fun day, right? And yeah, just living, loving, laughing with them because they are my entire life.
All right, well, I think it's your turn to do the 1-minute recap.
Trash.
So Get fucking ready. Surprise shout out.
Give me a timer. Oh my god, wait, Katie, before we jump in, hold the fucking, how dare I say that nothing's new? Have you been seeing all of the Vanderpump Rules tea?
No. What's going on?
Are you joking? You haven't seen anything?
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My FYP is super saturated with just the worst ridiculousness. You go ahead. Tell me what's going on. Fill me in.
So Tom and Ariana.
Right.
Dating for forever. And James and Raquel.
Yes.
Who were dating for a while. So they broke up. They broke up their engagement, James and Raquel, a while ago.
Okay. R.I.P.
Tom and Raquel have been having an affair behind Ariana's back for 7 months or longer. And all this tea just came out over the past weekend. And Sheena allegedly, when she found out, punched Raquel in the face. They had already wrapped filming season 10 this current season, but then Bravo was get the fucking cameras out there. So they've had the cameras now out. Apparently today they filmed a sit down of Ariana talking to Tom about the affair. It's just all over the place.
Oh my God.
Dude, you're gonna have to look it up when we get off of here. There is so much shit coming out and it's just so oh my God. thank you, Vanderpump Rules, for delivering, because the past few seasons have been a little dry because everyone's been domesticated, but now everyone's breaking up, having affairs. It's getting messy.
Oh
Wild.
my gosh. Wow. I would be like, get the fuck out of my house. We're not filming right now. But then they're probably like, well, we have contracts. I'm sorry. I feel bad.
Yeah. This broke like was it like Wednesday or something? And then I guess today was when they like, I guess allegedly did a sit down. Ariana confronting Tom about it.
I cannot believe that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And Ariana found out because, again, allegedly she saw a video that Raquel sent of herself to Tom's phone.
Well, she's never been the brightest ball.
I know. Katie on this season called her the human equivalent to cotton candy.
That's a read and an accurate one. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Or when Lala
Yikes.
called her a Bambi-eyed bitch, it's like, and her actual name is Rachel. Like, she just goes by Raquel to be different.
What the fuck?
Someone found her in a yearbook, and her name is Rachel, but she just goes by Raquel. Anyways, sorry. So how dare I forget that, because that has literally consumed my life this weekend.
All right.
Anyways.
1 minute on the clock. You stalled. You had your stalling moment. Now you have to do the work, bitch. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Caleb is in Ravenswood, so him and Hannah are broken up. So Hannah is now with Travis for a little bit, and she's reading. She's trying to do her sleuthing. And Miss Marin's struggling to get a job. Miss DeLaurentis is back, and she's terrorizing Spencer. Spencer is on drugs, and then she goes to rehab, and then she has a sober companion, and her and Toby are kind of on the rocks a little bit. Emily, she's just trying to find Allie, and she's doing dumb shit with Shauna. Paige is being a flop. Arya, so Ezra's doing like all this creepy shit, and we have a very dramatic chick pee moment, and then he ends up being A, but not being A. He's actually writing a book, and then they have this little encounter on a ski lift with a crying face, and then the girls all find out about him, and then he leaves, and then they find Allie, and she gives them a few answers, and then Ezra's shot, and Allie's mom is dead, and Wayne for the win.
And Wayne for the win.
Dude, that man is scaling buildings for his daughter.
He is out here. I have so many notes about Wayne. Just kidding.
Okay.
I have the one note about Wayne when he scales the wall. And he's like, I'm
Thank
coming,
God.
baby. Oh, I love him so much.
Yes, and just knowing that out of all of the parents, he is by far like the best one in the fact that he's the one who's dead.
Yeah, the one decent man. They fucking killed him.
Oh my God.
The parents are so like sporadic this season. I feel like they it's like they couldn't get them all on set anymore. They were all very present in the first season, and now it's like Arya's mom comes home. She's like a special guest.
Yeah. And also this season, notably, Keegan Allen no longer is like a full-time cast member. He appears in the like guest starring section as well, which is interesting. So
Byron's gone most of the time. It's rare that you see the Hastings in the same room.
Yeah. Although when they are, like when Spencer, I'm getting ahead of myself, but when Spencer comes home after that night and Toby and her parents are all sitting there, I'm like, what a good looking room of people. Like, they're really just a good looking couple. Just saying. Peter, you're dirty, but you and Veronica, you're hot.
I was gonna say we have a new Nasty Wasty Peter, but this time it's Peter H. Remember Nasty Wasty Peter B?
Oh my God, Peter B. Yeah, ew.
Peter's a cheater.
Peter is a cheater. What is it with the Peters? Shall we do what? Tracking first?
Yeah, let us know.
Let me pull up my shit. Okay, so our A suspects for pretty much this half of the season now have pretty much been Allison and Jessica DeLaurentis and then Ezra. That's kind of like our three main people that we were kind of like side-eyeing a little bit this half of the season. For relationships/kiss tracker, Arya added Riley, the random dude from Syracuse. Spencer didn't add anyone. Hannah Hannah added Travis and Officer Holbrook to her list. Emily didn't add anyone new. And Allison, I added in Ezra, kind of. Like, we don't really see that relationship, but it's, like, implied, you know, that they were dating, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't get any more funerals in the second half. We did get another death, though. We got Mrs. De Laurentiis. We see her being buried in the last episode. And even though it's not, like, confirmed that she's dead yet, spoiler alert, she's dead. So,
Yay.
R.I.P. Katie, what was your favorite A communication method in 4B?
I mean, it's got to be the teeth, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's creative.
I don't like it because it's like, that looks ouchy, but I mean, that's just wild. A is wild.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's something different. I'd like to be in the writer's room when they were like, okay, so like texts are getting kind of boring, notes are getting kind of boring, like how are we going to do this? And they're like, what if they put a scroll of paper in Hannah's teeth?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd just like to know what that looked like.
Yeah, or like, let's put finger bones on the corset. But then Shelby and I were talking, it's like, didn't she see those when she was putting on the corset?
You would think. And also, those were some big ass fingies. Did you see how big those bones were? That was some gorilla hands.
Yeah, I don't think that was really human body parts.
And then new characters, we honestly really didn't get any new characters that are going to matter to the overall story moving forward. Like, I'm kind of only tracking people that are going to be important for multiple storylines, not just like a one-off. The only one that we just get mentioned, we don't actually get introduced to her, but is Sarah Harvey. She is going to play more of a role next season and in season 6. But for right now, just her name came up this season, which I didn't realize that was that early that we got mention of her.
Damn, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so we'll see her next season. She's a flop as well, but she's gonna be here. And yeah, I think that's all of the typical tracking I do.
Okay.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's Beyonce. I just have to say, I think my main takeaway from this chunk of the season is this show really just had such a great concept and potential, and it just kind of bums me out, like, I mean, it doesn't bum me out because it's special in its own way, and like, it's still good in its own way, but like, it could have been great, truly, because this concept is really interesting to me, and I think if they would have just like taken more risks in certain areas and just like not been so consumed by like fan theories and fan like service and stuff like that, I think it could have been really good. And also just like, if it were an HBO show that was not like dependent on keeping people watching and doing all this stuff to get you to the next commercial break and the next commercial break, like, I think capitalism also played a part in making this show stupid. I love that Ezra is board shorts. I think that's a great twist, and it could have been really strong. Like, it's different than the Toby A reveal, and the way that the writers like jump through hoops to set him up as being A, with like him and Mona going off alone together and like all this stuff. It's like, he might as well just have been A. He was watching the police blotter. He had access to the security systems in their homes. Just make him A, because after he did all of that stuff, that's not really, like, he's sort of irredeemable. The fact that you have to shoot this man at the end of the season.
It just made him so creepy.
Yeah.
For literally no reason.
He plays it really well, too.
He does.
So it's like, they should have just leaned into that. But
When
I mean, remember how upset we were at the time, though? So like, maybe they got some pushback from it. I don't know.
I feel like they saw how well the Toby thing worked with like fan reaction and like how the big storm that caused. That then they were like, oh, well, what do we do to top that? Like, well, let's do it with Ezra too. Because like, you're not going to do it with Caleb because he's getting Ravenswood, and you're not going to do it with Paige because who the fuck cares about Paige enough? Like, if Paige would have been A, no one would have cared, you know? Like, it would have been like, how is she finessing everyone when she sucks? But I agree. I like the fact that he's board shorts. I think that was cool. I actually think that the whole like book writing idea and him trying to like solve this for a book is like interesting. It's just the execution of him being just so much wasted time of him being super creepy that it's all for nothing, basically. So then when you're watching this, when you already know that he's not even A, so like he's doing all of this extra shit for really no reason, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of annoying. And I agree, I kind of wish that, I think because they listened to the fans like too much, and that whenever they saw like a really good fan theory, they're like, oh, well, then we don't want to do that because then people will like, they guessed it, you know. So they try to do something that people would never guess, which is why we got what we got in the end, which I think you're starting to see that here, because you can't tell me that they weren't setting Arya up to be A through like the first 3 seasons. And I feel like seeing her in this season, her and Ezra would have been an amazing A team. Like if they would have been the villains together. That car ride when she was talking about like how like maybe the villains are more interesting, how he's like, do the villains win in your story? And she was like, I don't know, maybe. I'm like, this would be the perfect time for them to be like, okay, let's do this together. And when you see her trashing his place, his anger, like, oh my God, they would have just been so good to be A in the end, but like together.
I think how I would have done it is like Ezra's gonna be the mid A reveal at the end of season 4 or whatever. He's gonna be the first like big A reveal after Toby. Like that can all still stay, but then Ezra is A. Like he actually is A. He could also be like writing the book, but he's like writing it and making it happen at the same time. I think that would have been really interesting. I think Arya should have been the ultimate A reveal, and I think Ezra should have died also, because we love character death on this podcast, and I think it would have been cool if Arya like set him up to be killed. I don't know. I just like I think I would have gone into it like, this is what we're gonna do. Ezra will be the mid reveal. Arya will be the ultimate one. How do we get there? That's kind of the way shows go now, is like, how are we gonna end it? Because this clearly they didn't know what they were just making shit up as they went along.
No, because like timelines don't match up, their plot holes, they definitely didn't know. And I think because like they obviously didn't want to keep it the same as the books because they didn't want people to just like know, which I get that to an extent, but you can see at this point, I feel like especially heading into next season, you see that they just have like no end game in sight, and like they're just kind of like flailing a little bit. I feel like this is then when people kind of lose it with this show, is with this season and the 5th season. I don't know, I just feel like now if they made it, and if they were making it for like our age group, they would be taking those bigger risks. But I think at the time when they knew that their age group was, you know, a much younger audience, like us when we were in high school, like what, freshman, sophomore year in high school, 15, 16 years old, and watching the show, that they didn't want to take those big risks, like character death, like sticking to making someone the villain that was actually like a character that was beloved. Where now, if they did that, or like on HBO or something, I feel like people would like it more. But at the time, I get why they did it.
Also, I just think like the info delivery on this show is so botched. Like they will invent entire characters to deliver one bit of information, or the dialogue sometimes, like that's why we never talk about that one summer when Melissa did this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not how people speak. You can show us that information in a different way. Oh, it's just like such a good concept. What are we doing? It's starting to get a little sloppy, but it's still great. So much fun. I'm like addicted to the show, and all I want to do is keep watching.
What did you think of season 4 as a whole?
I really enjoyed it, and I also just remembered a lot of like the key points in this. I think this is when we were like really watching it and getting together to watch it, and like I remember that film noir episode very clearly, a couple of the other things that happened, but then there are other things that I just like do not remember at all. So it's cool. What about you? Do you like it?
I do. It's not my favorite of seasons. Overall ranking, like season 3 is the best season of this show in my opinion. I really like the flash forward seasons, and so I'd maybe put this like mid-range overall. I mean, I definitely like it more than the next season. Like season 5 is my least favorite season of this show, so I'm not really like looking. I mean, maybe because maybe I'll feel differently about it this time, but yeah, I think it's good. I just think there's so much like Ezra content in the second half. I just see as a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because of how it ends up being.
Right.
That I'm like, why are we wasting time of seeing his little like spy shack and him being super creepy about chickpeas and like all this stuff that we just know is not really making sense overall.
Yeah. Every time there's like a big moment like that, I just think about him in the Santa underwear on crutches next season, and I'm like, I literally can't.
Oh my God. And it's Toby on crutches.
Oh, I thought it was Ezra. My bad.
No, because it's after he eats Spencer's weed candy, right? And he like falls over on a job. Do you remember that?
Oh my God. Did they like write in a legit injury that he like the actor had or something?
I don't know.
What the fuck? I don't. I watching season 5 is gonna be like watching it for the first time. I don't remember that at all. So, who was your standout star this half?
It's Spencer. I mean, we're not fucking surprised at this point. I think she's pretty much been my standout star for almost every single episode that we've done this. She just is elite in my opinion. I love her character being addicted to drugs in this half of the season. Like,
yeah,
I like that. Yeah, right? She set the blueprint. I just, once again, she's doing her sleuthing, carrying the girls, even when she's on drugs. Like, she is once again just keeping them all on target, and finds out about Ezra too. She's the one who finds out about it because of course she does. And I don't know, and I just like her wit. I like her sharp tongue. I like her attitude. I like her desperation, like when you can tell when she doesn't remember that night about Allie and when she genuinely thinks that she might have hurt her. I've said it before. Troy Bellisario is just an amazing actress, and I feel like they really started to lean into her with season 3 and in this season. And I just really appreciate that they gave her some more depth to her character and some like more challenging things to deal with as a character. Maybe like other girls got, because they knew she could handle it and deliver. So I love her this season as always.
My standout star is going to be Hannah again. She was my standout star for the first half of this season. I mean, I know like Spencer is the smartest one. She's still like out here sleuthing, doing her thing, but I really do feel like Hannah picks up a lot of the slack, because we talked last time about how she was picking up the slack when Spencer was off with Toby figuring out his mommy issues, and now she is picking up the slack when Spencer is on drugs, and she's like following Spencer's investigating, like she's investigating, Spencer's investigating, and being like, bitch, are you a speed freak? Like, what the fuck is going on? And she just like always brings up good points when she's like, yo, you guys, who the fuck is in Allie's grave? Like, let's think about this shit, and fuck y'all, I already have a theory. Her and Caleb's breakup scene is so powerful.
Yeah.
And I love Ashley swooping in with the hug. I just love it.
Ashley and Wayne for number one.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And then I also love how she like runs after him, or not runs after him, but she like meets up with him again and is like, whatever happens, I'm not gonna let that be the way we say goodbye. Like, their end game with that line alone. Another amazing weapon choice with the pink dumbbell.
Yes. Yes.
And like we said before, she's gassed, she's numbed, she's got her tooth messed with, like still just fighting out here, doing the most. The botched intervention, I don't necessarily fault her for. I do feel like that was more floppy 1 and 2. But I think it's funny how she just gets straight to the point. Like, are you a speed freak?
Wait, so which one's floppy 1 and which one's floppy 2?
They're interchangeable, but and also coming in clutch with figuring out like the page handwriting situation, because I definitely wouldn't have been able to figure that out.
No.
So she's just like on top of her shit there. So I love Hannah. She's my fave.
I feel like our standout star is pretty consistently always mine is Spencer and yours is Hannah. Like,
yeah,
kind of predictable. But I mean, like, they're just delivering. Like, it's not going to be Emily. It's not going to be Aria. Although I do have to say, I did like some of Aria's moments in this half of the season, mostly when she was like raging after she found out about Ezra. I did enjoy some of that. But just some of the other stuff, I'm just like, bitch, I can't with you, you know?
I think they just realized, like, you don't got the chops for it, kiddo. You can't be our big A reveal.
Yeah,
I would have forced, like Shelby said, I would have forced her to do it. Like, find your inner darkness, bitch.
Yeah.
I know it's in there.
I do think she shows some of that, but you're so right with, like, Ian Harding leading into being, like, that creepy. Like, he masters that, like, kind of vacant stare really well of, like, I don't know. Do you know what kind of... He does it, like, the whole season. And it's kind of chilling a little bit. And I'm like, he goes from being such a really charismatic guy to then also pulling that out. And I'm like, you have some range, sir. Like, I'm enjoying your performance.
Yeah, it's giving, like, Penn Badgley. Is that his name? And
yeah. Yes.
What about your standout scene?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really have one this whole season. I don't really think that there's anything to me that it's like I remembered super clearly like before I went into this season. I mean, like I remember the ski lift because it was like so dramatic.
Yeah.
But I ended up just putting down the finale and finally seeing the events from the day that Allie went missing from her POV and getting a few answers. Just because we've spent so much of the show of them trying to piece together that day when Allie got back from Georgia and or like allegedly got back from Georgia and trying to figure out like where she was all going, who she was all seeing, what she was all doing that night. And it was just nice, I guess, to finally get stuff like her telling it firsthand. So I guess that was my standout because again, it's like cool to have a scene with Allie and all of the girls in present time too. And it's like the first one that we get. I mean, it's not the best standout, but I don't know. I didn't really have one for this season.
Yeah, I was having trouble like finding a particular scene too. I do think that the ending, like when Ezra gets shot after he's like, it's so beautiful. After that fucking moment when he collapses, their performances are all really good in that situation. I think Lucy Hale is like definitely bringing it in that moment. And I like how Allie is also like having an issue with it because they have a history too. And just that moment where he's like trying to diffuse the shooter and like diffuse the tension and everything and how they're all like like ducking from the gun. It's just crazy. I think it might just be like recency bias because I literally just watched that episode before we started recording. But yeah, it stands out to me.
Yeah.
Clearly remember the ski lift scene too. So I feel you.
Because so dramatic. I'm like, what are you doing getting on a ski lift, ma'am?
Yeah. This is your own fucking fault when you're like slowly piecing it together like this. You should have been hoes over bros and listen to your friend, even though she's on drugs. They're the kind of drugs that could help you figure out a situation like this. Not to be an advocate for amphetamine, but she's not on meth or anything. Like she's not. She's like
Spencer alone.
She's just trying to stay awake because the rest of you can't fucking pull your own weight. So she has to work overtime.
Yeah.
To tell you that your predator of a boyfriend, he's sketchy as fuck.
Yeah. He's lying about chickpeas. Also, you're going to drive in 2 hours round trip for chickpeas. Ma'am, eat a slice of bacon and sit down.
People are just annoying the shit out of me, bro. Like, don't text me.
Right after at the beginning of this episode, you're like, I don't have a friend group here. And now you're like, don't fucking text.
No. What's next?
Toby's hair.
Flop.
It's
giving
What
loofah.
were they doing? Yeah.
It's giving
Yeah. Yeah, it's so bad. I don't know what they were doing to his hair. I don't know if he was like doing something else and that's why he was a guest star. If maybe like he was doing another show or another project and so he had to have his hair that certain way for it. But whatever it was, sir, it's not your best look.
Well, it's bad in season 5 too, because he comes back with like the long, greasy hair.
Oh, true. When the flash forward, he goes back to his roots, so we just have to wait for it. And just along the same lines as Toby, more Toby's mom stuff that just again doesn't matter that I just don't care about. Like we have them trying to shut down or like the company or whatever, and then potentially shut down Radley. And Spencer's dad offers to help, and then he rescinds that, or then he like doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want Radley shut down because of Jessica. I don't know. It's just all stuff that it's like, once again, this just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just like filler to fill up more time. And I don't know. I just didn't care.
Stupid ass shit. Again, too, like another cliffhanger when Melissa whispers into Peter's ear. It's like that ends up not even being anything, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's like,
I don't even remember.
Can we just like get on the same page? I feel like they had a different writer for every episode at this point. So you're getting a little sloppy.
They needed like a continuity person with them in the room to be fact checking them on like ages of character. Like Wilden character makes no sense timeline wise. Toby's mom makes no sense like timeline wise. Like they needed someone to be in there kind of like keeping them on track.
Should we just go into like other flops while we're talking about it?
Oh yeah, do you have your flops list for us?
I do.
Please share.
Ezra has to be on the top of my list because I feel like all of this to write a book, like maybe you're just a bad writer and you should probably not seek out teenage girls to like get story inspiration. Like, I'm just disturbed already that he was seeing Allie before Arya, and I know she lied about her age, whatever. That to me is still like weird, and that just confirms that he knew Arya was underage because he knew who she was. So that really doesn't like help his cause in the whole Predator department and him acting like, oh, I'm so shocked that I made out with my student. It's like, no, he knew she was a minor, got the job as her teacher to stalk her and follow her and watch her friends and get close to her to figure out stuff about her friend who went missing when she was 15 because they had a relationship when she was 14 or 15. For me, there's no coming back from that. Even if you get shot in the stomach, that's all I have to say. Number one flop goes to Mr. Fitz. You're rotted. And no me gusta. Second flop is Frisbee plates after jail. I'm chucking that shit. I'm not Frisbee-ing it.
Yeah, like Hulk smash that shit.
Yeah, and Hannah's going through a breakup. Like, they should have been in a break room, like, hammering shit, you know? Officer Holbrook, another predator. I don't know what the obsession is, and they literally have these girls in wedding dresses at the end of this season. Someone's obsessed with, like, underage, child bride, grown men with girls, grown men filming girls, like, it's yucky.
Like Ian with his fucking camera set up in that bedroom with Allison when she's like 15 years old. And man, excuse
that shit
me.
is so bad. He is a huge flop also. He actually might be more of a flop than Ezra because his hairline is receding, and the fact that they had to bring him back to do like flashback scenes, but he looks older than he was when he was on the show because his hairline's receding. Trash.
Yeah. Glad to see he was RIP'd a long time ago.
And good for Alec for killing his ass.
Well, no, so she pushed him. We still don't know who shot him.
Oh.
Still don't know. I don't think we ever know. I dead ass do not think that we ever know.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because she pushed him off the bell tower and she's like, I knew he wasn't dead because she saw him come out the back. But then we don't know. Because, like, it wasn't a suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to actually Google that while you keep going on with your flops.
Mike and Mona is a flop. I don't ship them.
Yeah.
Jesse, the guidance counselor, another stupid ass character introduced for what? Flop 1 and 2 and Hannah falling for Ren's pad in Spencer's purse is tragic during their intervention and them like gaslighting her into feeling crazy and like them letting Ezra flip the script on Spencer. They're all botched for that. Amigas Cheetahs. Yeah. I feel like rule number 1 in this friend group, stick together no matter what. And that would make more sense then at the end when Arya is A because it's like the ultimate betrayal. What the fuck?
Amigas Cheetahs.
Paige. Once again, flop list. This time, she's stalking Emily and following her because she's insecure about Allie coming back and her turning over that little letter to the police. Such a bitch-ass move. All that shit at the end of this season is caused by Paige getting the police involved. Mm-hmm. The police are completely incompetent in this town, and she has no idea what's going on. Like, she has no idea the scale of the A situation, but she is constantly... fucking shit up for everybody else, and she's just absolutely tragic. I think her getting dumped in front of all of Emily's friends is hilarious, super embarrassing. How they're just all in the car. They're just all in the car.
Bye.
Well, she's standing there like crying in the street. Sorry, don't be ratting shit out to the police. Like, we don't fuck with you. And then I think it was also funny when Arya was like to Emily, good thing you dumped Paige before you're about to see your old flame, huh?
Oh my god.
It's like, why the fuck would you say that?
Because it's a flop 1 and 2 thing.
Yeah. Dean the sober monitor is also a flop. And why are you falling asleep on your, again, teenage client? And why are you live in sober monitor? I've never heard of that.
Rich people.
But yeah, that's my flop list. Do you have any to add? Any that I missed?
I mean... I don't know. What happened to Shauna? Like, in that car, all of a sudden, she just, like, scared herself half to death. And that's how, like, when she woke up and she was confused. And Allie called her. What happened to her? We literally see her look in her rearview mirror and go, like, and then she, like, wakes up from a nap.
And she's like,
I don't
I have
know.
to go. Yeah.
I just think Shauna is just a stupid character.
All of the A reveals too, like the fact that all of this, it ends up being Cece, like it's not, I want to be gut punched. Like having it be Ezra, that's like a gut punch. And like they all feel betrayed, especially Arya, but like Emily's not taking it very well either. Like, you know, they're all close to him in some capacities.
I actually loved that scene when Emily confronted him in the classroom and was like, you helped me on my college admissions essay. You helped me when my girlfriend died. Like, you were there for me, and now to find this out, that is messed up. So I actually did like that scene between the two of them. Back up. Oh, and also apparently Marlene King confirmed that Ian did in fact commit suicide for unknown reasons. Mona was the one who faked the note. That's the biggest cop-out shit ever. You just like didn't know who actually killed him. So at the beginning of this season, Arya is still in fact with Jake. So I would just like to point that out, and she does end up breaking up with him. Here's the thing, Jake, that is the ugliest fucking necklace I've ever seen in my entire life, and I would also break up with you if you gave me that, because there's no way in hell I'd be wearing that around my neck. So you're a flop as well. And also, although I couldn't help but cringe when he kicked his punching bag and just knowing that it's a bunch of knives like sticking out of it.
Did Ezra do that?
I don't think so, because he's not like A. So I think they just made it look like it, that it was like, oh, look, here's this shot then of him and Arya together, like eating whipped cream together. So it like looks like it's him, but I don't think that was actually him. I think it was Cece, or I don't know.
Why would she do that to him?
I don't know. You know, well, here, let me Google it quick and make sure that I'm right on that. Well, I just don't think it was Ezra.
Because at this point, they're just like doing shit to do shit.
Who put knives in Jake's punching bag? Okay, so here is the theory about that. Oh, okay. Marlene King confirmed it wasn't Ezra, but so some people think because Arya had kicked Cece's ass on top of that one thing, you know, that then Cece was embarrassed and like humiliated that she got her ass whooped by Arya. So then she took it out on Jake, who was like her instructor.
Her teacher. Oh my gosh. There's gay behavior going on in this season. Emily is being down bad for Allie, prepping herself, putting on perfume and shit, putting on her best little outfit. She's valid in that. The Emily and Allie reunion, super gay. And then the Spencer fallout and Emily's rage. Shay's giving there, I must say. That's not a flop moment. That's a good moment. She's really like the rage that she like continues to have in the subsequent episodes about that. But I do really love the girly Lilas moment after Wayne gets hurt and Spencer in her makeup. That's really cute. How would you feel if Spencer, like if you were in Emily's situation and Spencer like walked in on that and ruined it for you?
I mean, I would be pissed as well, but so like that evening I would be like, literally don't fucking talk to me. But after I would have like some time to think about it, I would hope that I would understand and like see from her point of view that like, why would our friend who's coming back from the dead not want to like talk to everyone, or like not want to like talk to us and try to like make this work? Why is it that when she sees one of our other friends she immediately has to go running away? Like that, I would be like also kind of suspicious of that, especially when you know that Spencer wasn't there with like malicious intent. I'd hope that I would have the like maturity to look at it from that way, but that'd be kind of hard though if it is like your long lost love, you know.
True. Yeah, or like your first love. You would kind of get over it, the old flame situation.
Well, I don't think I would ever get over like Allie or like my old flame, but I think if I was Emily, I'd have to get over like the Spencer part of it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I'd be super pissed because like my first love, who then I thought was dead but is alive, I'm like telling you not to follow me, but you do anyways. I'd be a little bit pissed at you.
But after all that they've been through in the past years, like it's not really safe for her to go by herself.
I think I'm just like a hopeless romantic, so I think I could see you being the logical one and going after me, and then me being like super bitter about it and being like, you fucking ruined my chances.
Yeah.
To finally get that punan.
After she's been on the run, that's your first reaction.
I mean, I also want her to be safe, but she can be my girlfriend and safe.
No wonder Paige is like, don't want her back, because she knows.
Yeah, it's
who's
so
gonna
obvious.
Pick Paige over Allison.
It's so obvious, Paige. Wrap it up.
One scene that is really sad to me is when Spencer's, like, we kind of see the ramifications of her addiction. We've been seeing her kind of struggling a little bit. There have been certain moments where obviously it's like come in handy with her like finding things out, or moments that are kind of funny, like with her clothing situation, you know, when she had to wear whatever was in her gym locker. But then I feel like the really sad moment was when she had told her mom that she was having dinner with Toby, and she had told Toby that she was having dinner with her mom, and then they like communicated and found out that she was lying to both of them. And Toby had this amazing anniversary dinner planned for her and like this little necklace, and he was like, there was a dinner with it, but like that doesn't matter. And just kind of seeing like the weight of that hit Spencer. Like I think that was kind of her first little like wake up call a little bit to being like, oh, maybe I'm not handling this as well as I thought I was, or like functioning as well as I thought I was. And that was just like a sad little moment to see.
Yeah, for sure. That little Scrabble piece necklace, super special. Don't be hurting our boy Toby like that, even if his hair is botched.
I know.
Also, more botched hair. Paige, in the film noir episode, you're ugly. You have literal anal beads strapped around your neck as a necklace. Also, why do they have to go back into the closet for that episode?
I know. That was like really weird to me.
Like, even the other girls don't even know that Emily's gay anymore. Like, it's like, oh, well, it's black and white, so they have to be
they're
in the closet.
Closeted.
Being gay is wrong. It's like, we could just not talk about that in this. Yeah. Because there's a lot of other shit going on. Like, we could easily just not do that.
Yeah, that was very weird to me that they, like, made that choice in that episode. And also, yeah, everyone is serving in these, like, old-timey looks. Like, I love the looks in this like, you know how normally you ask, like, what's your favorite looks? It's literally, like, everything from this episode. I love it. And you can tell that, like, they probably just love doing that episode and, like, something different to break it up a bit. But Paige's hair, dear God.
It's like they wanted us to hate her. Everybody involved with that character, from like the writing of that character to the performance of that character to like the costuming, the hair and makeup. It's like they wanted us to hate her. We're supposed to, but it seems like they're actively trying to get us to that point. So
yes.
Also with the film noir episode, like I'm confused if all of that is actually happening because a lot of it is like furthering the plot, but a little murky there.
Yeah, I think there were parts that did, and then parts like obviously when Spencer was like, that's what almost got you shot in the back of a nightclub, and they're all like,
yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that line is a little fuzzy. I don't know. It's like an interesting episode. Like I do like it, but yeah, it doesn't fit in at all. But I mean, at least they didn't do a musical episode like Grey's Anatomy.
Right. Oh, thank God. Can you imagine? That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Oof, count your blessings. Count your blessings where you have them.
Can you imagine seeing Paige like do a little tap dance?
I don't want to fucking think about that.
Or like Toby trying to rap. Like it's like him back in prison again.
Do-rag Toby. I feel like I've hit a lot of my major points. I love the sale montage. Sale! When Spencer's like investigating and coming in clutch with that Fitzgerald search, bitch.
Yes.
She's still a smart cookie. And I would shit in that man's shoe if I went and destroyed his apartment.
Yeah, and then not him trying to tape his poster back together later on. Like, just throw it out.
And buy
it's a lost cause.
You are so tragic. And him being like, I still want you to read my book. No one wants to read your fucking book, bro. All those red marks on there, you clearly have some bad spelling mistakes. The grammar isn't there. It's not working. I search my research for my book. He should still be behind bars. I'm so sorry. He had the security access codes to their home.
Yeah.
He got a job at their school to stalk them.
Yeah, like, that should be illegal. Or it is illegal.
He's a criminal.
When you think about it, Caleb and Toby are quite literally like two of the only men on this show that are not criminals.
I feel like Hannah pulls some of the best guys because Travis is super sweet and super cute, in my opinion. I love him.
He's fine. He's no Caleb, but yeah, he seems like a good enough guy.
Remember Alex?
Loved Alex, but I mean, Toby Toby's better, but yes, I did really like Alex. Okay, the Ezra reveal on the lift. You know, I do love a moment of, like, how are they going to have this conversation? You know, they got to make it climactic in some way. So they first have her, like, running in the woods. But again, like, making him super creepy for no reason. And then getting on the ski lift. Like, I get it that they needed to have that moment to, like, make it seem like higher stakes. But it's just, like, so ridiculous. It stops for no reason. Then they're just suspended there. Then what does the rest of the ski lift look like? Why did we cut away? I'd like to see the awkward moment of them just both sitting side by side until the ski lift puts them down on land. And then where does she go? She still doesn't have her keys. How does she get home?
For me, like, as a creator, why would you want to do all of that work for it to be nothing? That's what I would have a problem with. It's like, I'm jumping through hoops to make this guy look creepy so that people are intrigued to hang on to the next commercial break, whatever. But, like, I want it to be a good payoff. I don't want it to just be like, oh, well, he's just writing a book. And the fact that he's still fucking creepy. He's dated 2 minors. One knowingly. Would you confront Ezra? Or, like, if you're the friends, not Arya, would you confront him, or would you, like, do something more shady like Hannah suggests, slashing his tires?
I'd do something more shady, because you never know what this dude is doing, especially knowing that he has access to, like, all of your stuff. I don't know. Like, you never know what he's going to do. So I'd do something shady, because then it's like there's at least some deniability about that of, like, oh, it wasn't me. Where, like, if you do something to his face, you know, then he knows.
I don't get why they don't. I just don't understand why they don't report him to the police. Like, I would want to see him go down. And I know Arya considers doing that and everything, but then how Hannah's like, it's gonna affect your family. It's like, bitch, it already has.
Yeah. What more about her family? Like,
her mom literally lives in Europe.
Yeah.
Her dad, who knows where that man is.
He's in Syracuse. That's, like, mentioned in every episode, I swear. It's like, my dad's in Syracuse.
It's like I
okay,
really
cool.
have no concern for where Byron is. Thank you so much.
I actually
wasn't worried
don't
about
fucking
it.
care. That man could be in Antarctica for all I care.
He could have died. And I would be like, oh shit, rest in peace.
Bye.
The wedding dresses. Who's your fave?
Okay, so at the bottom, I got Hannah. It's just not giving. Next, I have Arya. All of the accessories kind of convoluted a little bit. Next, I have Emily. The titties are tittying. And at number 1, I have Spencer. I love the corset and I love the simplicity of her look.
She looks stunning. The hair, the
beautiful.
Veil, her
beautiful.
running in distress through the woods. It's all just giving. And again, I feel like ever since the pig thing, we've just been getting, like, cop out after cop out. With that penultimate episode starting with her something, like maybe her getting shot in the back or something, and then it's just a bear trap closing on the veil, and she doesn't even take the veil off. It's like, I'm done with this shit. I'll hang out till the next commercial break, but this is why I stopped watching this show, because it's not worth it. You set all this up, but then make it worth it. You're making your audience feel like, well, that was stupid, and now that wasn't worth me sitting through all those commercials for that.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want it to at least pay off if you're gonna do all that setup? I just want to be, like, blown away. I want to be like, oh my god, Spencer stabbed in the back. Or, like, bow and arrow, crossbow. I don't know.
Yeah. One of them needed to be injured. Not just Emily with her shoulder.
Yeah, Spencer definitely looks great. I think Hannah, she looks great. I think just, like, that dress is a little dated with the jewel embellishments. Emily looks great. I'm just not a huge fan of, like, the shoulder.
This cap sleeve like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. And then Arya was last for me with, like, the little teacup dress. I just, like...
As we know, seasons 3 through halfway through season 6 all take place in senior year. And what we kind of inferred from season 3 to the first half of season 4 is that it all kind of is like Halloween timeline. While that Ravenswood party is not confirmed to be on Halloween, that's when they normally would do the Halloween episode. And we know that there is a Christmas episode to come in season 5. So we are just inferring that that was all through Halloween. So this entire half of the season is between Halloween and not even to Christmas yet. So I'm thinking we have, like, literally November, basically. This is like a month. So this is just some of the stuff that happens to them. Arya breaks up with Jake and gets back with Ezra, and he's A for a little bit, but not really because he's writing his book. Mike and Mona date and break up. Caleb and Hannah break up, and she gets with Travis for a bit, but also kisses Holbrook. Spencer gets addicted to pills. Emily tries to work with Shauna to get closer to Allie. Spencer finds out about Ezra. The girls find out about Ezra. Spencer goes to rehab and has a sober coach. Arya flips on Ezra, and they break up. Allie is alive, and the girls meet up with her where Ezra is shot, and the girls think Allie's mom might be A, but then she's actually dead, and Allie's mom was harassing Spencer, and Spencer, and was harassing Spencer. And that's everything that basically happened in November.
Do you know who is shooting at them? Who is that?
Yeah, it's Shauna.
Shauna?
Mhm.
Oh my god. Why is she trying to kill them?
Parkour.
Why is she trying to kill them?
Because she didn't want them to take Allie from her, I think, or
I
something.
can't.
It's something with that. Because that like literally gets resolved because Shauna dies like in the first episode of season 5. Because they're all at that theater, I think, right? Isn't that what it is? They're all like at that theater, the like Fitzgerald theater. Arya kills Shauna, so we're in for it with season 5, y'all.
Stick around.
Yup.
Hopefully we'll get more back on track with like a schedule. My life is just like very crazy at the moment. I have to move in 2 days.
Very
I
exciting.
have not packed anything. Fun times for me over here. Yeah, I'm hoping to get back on more of a normal schedule when I'm settled into my new place. So hopefully like April-ish time. Just bear with us until then. But we really appreciate all the support with these episodes and you guys tuning in. Can't even really say every week anymore because, again, it's been hard out here. But thanks for sticking with it. Love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.
Lilas.
Lilas.